Good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Trumbore with your nightly review for Tuesday, March 26th. It is 4:01 Eastern Time. The Dow Jones hit a new all-time high, up 111, 0.8% to 14,558. 14,559. S&P finished up 12 to 1563, 2 points shy of its all-time high of 1565. Also up 0.8%, NASDAQ up 0.5% to 3252. Gold was at $15.99, down a few bucks. Oil 96.20, up $1.40. That's its highest level in quite a while. Gas prices may start heading back up. 10-year Treasury 1.91%. Tokyo's down 0.6%. London, Paris, and Frankfurt up fractionally. And on the economic front, durable goods for February, that's big ticket items, came in up 5.7%, better than expected. However, transportation, which is always highly volatile, orders fell 0.5% when they were expected to rise 0.6%. The S&P Case-Shiller Index of property values in 20 metropolitan areas rose 8.1% in January over January 2012. That's the fastest year-over-year pace since June of 2006. The Phoenix market is up 23% for the 12 months. Prices have risen in all 20 metro areas for the 12-month period in January, including even New York, up 0.6% only. Separately, February new home sales came in less than expected, but the last 2 months represent the best 2-month period for new home sales since August and September of 2008. Guess what? Nothing on Washington. They're away, I get a break. In Spain, the Bank of Spain announced the economy will shrink 1.5% this year. That is more than the government is telling its people, with unemployment set to rise above 27%. I repeat, unemployment in Spain will rise above 27% this year. Housing values will obviously continue to drop sharply. Weak domestic demand. The bank said growth would return next year, but unemployment would remain staggeringly high, around 27%. 2014 would be the 5th consecutive year that unemployment in Spain is over 20%. Cyprus, the head of the central bank there, said that superhuman efforts are being made to open the country's banks on Thursday. It's over 10 days they've been closed, so imagine the chaos if you're a merchant. ATMs have been dispensing cash but often run out. The 2 largest lenders, Laiki and Bank of Cyprus, have imposed a daily withdrawal limit of €100, or about $130. The BBC learned that Cyprus is planning to impose a weekly limit on cash withdrawals. The country's draft capital controls include export limits on euros and a ban on cashing checks. Michael Saris, the finance minister, said these restrictions would be a bit stricter on the 2 largest banks, again the Laiki and Bank of Cyprus, where about half of the country's deposits are held. and they would remain, the restrictions on those two would remain in place until the banking system stabilizes. Saris is expecting some bleeding, some outflow of funds once the banks reopen, but believes that once EU bailout funds begin flowing in a matter of weeks, confidence will return. Although the economy would be hit badly by the economic crisis, Saris admitted he maintained that it could benefit from an energy boom, referring to the exploratory gas fields off the southern coast. He is wrong. It'll take forever, years, before they saw any benefits from that. People and businesses with more than 100,000 euros in their accounts at Laiki face significant losses. It still hasn't been announced as of right now. They might tonight. But they're expected to be around 40%, again over 100,000. Laiki will be dissolved immediately into a so-called bad bank containing its uninsured deposits and toxic assets, with the guaranteed deposits being transferred to the Bank of Cyprus. Deposits at Bank of Cyprus above 100,000 euro will be frozen until it becomes clear to what extent they will also be forced to take losses. Those funds will eventually be converted into bank shares. The thing is, as the Wall Street Journal pointed out today, winding up a bank takes time. They cited one example where just last year, after 20 years, the bank was finally liquidated in terms of all its assets. Saris told reporters the exit of Cyprus from the Eurozone, which could mean the exit from the European Union, would be disastrous politically and economically. We do not even want to contemplate it. As for the economy, a local economist told the Financial Times the decline could be 15% this year and then an additional 5% next year. That's obviously depression. Cyprus will in all likelihood require additional further assistance, and this is a key down the road, because this downturn is going to be so sharp. Where are the tax receipts going to be to take care of the new debt? You know, the EU isn't loaning Cyprus 10 billion for nothing, 10 billion euro. Finance is up to 75% of the economy. Up to 75% of the economy. And the European Union is purposefully destroying it. Simon Kennedy of Bloomberg. The message that stakeholders of all stripes can be coerced into helping a cash-strapped nation may make investors more skittish, that they'll be targeted if Slovenia, Italy, Spain, or even Greece again is next in line to need help. The risk is that bank runs and bond market sell-offs become more likely the moment a country applies for a new rescue. Charles Goodhart, professor emeritus at the London School of Economics, told Bloomberg, "They will swear black and blue that Cyprus is a unique case, but so was Greece. You can talk about the inviolability," I practiced that word and I still can't get it, inviolability of insured deposits, but the problem now is, would anyone believe you? Ian Bremmer, a strategist, in a Financial Times op-ed titled "Why Russia Refused to Bail Out Cyprus," Bremmer notes, "Economics explains some of its reluctance. Moscow is under real pressure with a budgetary process that is only getting rockier and rising unemployment. The notion of a Cyprus deal was never going to fly for the Kremlin, as it was largely perceived as throwing good money after bad. Rather, the Russians are, as the Chinese have been doing in Greece, waiting for select assets at a bargain price. It is a buy low approach, and it is a safe bet that Cypriot assets will become more affordable." Bremmer concludes, As far as we can tell at this stage, the outcome could have been worse for Russia had all Cypriot banks been targeted, rather than just two. Russia's largest trading partner remains the EU. Moscow is dependent on revenue from gas sales to Europe. The bottom line, Moscow has far more to lose than gain from aggressively reacting to the crisis. Mr. Putin seems well aware of this, telling his government to begin talks on restructuring Russia's €2.5 billion loan to Cyprus. In other news, Jordan closed its main border crossing with Syria after 2 days of fighting between Syrian troops and rebel fighters right there at the border. This is the first such closure of the crossings into Jordan since the revolt against President Assad began 2 years ago. A Jordanian minister said the border post is effectively closed because of the clashes, and they are continuing. So there's your spillover. In China, remember the dead pigs? Now it's a dead duck crisis, a dead animal flotilla. China's dead pig crisis seems to have spread as China's state media carried a report saying 1,000 rotten dead ducks had been found in a river in southwest China, while the toll of dead pigs removed from Shanghai's water supply, this is just sick, hit nearly 11,000. Now the dead ducks are in Sichuan province. Decomposed ducks found in 50 to 60 plastic bags. State media quoted the local officials saying that the duck carcasses had been disinfected and buried and posed no threat to humans or livestock along the banks of the river. At least this river is not a drinking source as the river flowing into Shanghai. How can you tell they are harmless when you don't know how the ducks died? Asked one microblogger on the Chinese equivalent of Twitter, Sina Weibo. The Shanghai government said the other day that the work of pulling pigs from the Huangpu River had nearly finished, though it has yet to provide an explanation of how they ended up there. A local newspaper reported that one reason for such a large number of dead pigs being discarded into the river was that the government had cracked down on illegal traders who used to buy up dead pigs to make dumpling filling, leaving farmers with no way to dispose of pigs who die before slaughter, apart from river disposal. So remind me to check on where my dumpling soup is being produced. A new UN report is incredibly depressing. The multi-million-dollar trade in illegal wildlife, clandestine trafficking that has driven iconic creatures like the tiger to near extinction, as reported by the AP, is also threatening the survival of great apes. Private owners are paying top dollar for exotic pets, while disreputable zoos, amusement parks, and traveling circuses clamor for the smuggled primates to entertain audiences. More than 22,000 great apes are estimated to have been traded illegally over a 7-year period ending in 2011, about 3,000 a year. The UN says more than half are chimpanzees. Most of this is taking place in Central and Western Africa. In Asia, as far as the orangutan, adults and juveniles are killed for consumption, and then the orphans are captured to sell into the live trade. We've just got to kill these people. Blow them away. That's where I differ with my church. Capital punishment. Well, on a much, much lighter note, we had a very funny case of the Powerball winner here in New Jersey, about a half-hour away, the town of Passaic. Pedro Quesada, 44. He's been here from the Dominican Republic. He's been here for 26 years, does not speak a word of English. He has 5 kids. He runs a bodega. His bodega doesn't sell lottery tickets, so he bought some at a store next to his bodega, and he was the sole winner of $338 million. So I think this afternoon he was taking the lump sum of $152 million. This guy's a piece of work. You should have seen him yesterday. He ran to the store with the cameras there once they knew that store had the winning ticket. He validated his ticket with everybody there. He has not a clue what to do, but he made it to, I did see he made it to lottery officials today with his ticket. I wanted to reach through the television, grab it for him for safekeeping. I thought, this is freaking nuts. That money will be gone in short order. His relatives are going to have fun. And here's one from Crane's New York Business. Her name is Olivia Crenshaw. That's Olivia Crenshaw. She's 11 years old. She is New York City's best Girl Scout cookie salesperson. In 2011, she was #1 with 1,651 boxes, and last year she sold 1,812 boxes of Girl Scout cookies. God bless her. She's going to be a huge success. She should manage Pedro's money. Now, one final item. This Day in Baseball, the book by David Nemec and Scott Flatow, F-L-A-T-O-W. Nemec is N-E-M-E-C. Great book. Okay, March 26, 1936. Coming off a season in which he led the AL in homers and RBIs, first sacker Hank Greenberg, it's 1936, wins a salary hike to $20,000. Meanwhile, Red Ruffing, who leads the Yankees in wins with 175 during the 1930s, fights for a raise to $12,000 from Bombers GM George Weiss. That's all for today. I'll be back with you on Wednesday. Take care.